Hi guys, it's Crystal, the founder of Bold Kulture Beauty, a 2-time award-winning blog and your first stop when you're looking to simplify your healthy hair routine. In the natural hair community, we tend to view shrinkage as a bad thing. But what if I told you that it wasn't bad? That it could be a sign of healthy hair and that we should learn to embrace it instead of trying to avoid it like the plague. Who decided that shrinkage was a bad thing or that its presence was unappealing? Okay, I know. Before you give me any crazy looks, I completely understand the desire to see the length. Trust me, I do. I rock some very fine, tightly coiled curls, and on most days, it always looks like a small, very full TWA, no matter how long it gets. It used to bother me, and honestly, sometimes I do like to see some length, but I've learned the value of the elasticity in my strands and how to embrace my hair as is. So this week, we're taking a closer look at shrinkage, what it is, and how I learned to embrace it. So grab a pen and grab a friend, and let's get right to it. So let's take a moment to talk about what shrinkage really is. First off, shrinkage is a way of life for everyone, especially if we have highly textured hair. By definition, shrinkage is the process of the hair lifting or drawing up as it loses moisture or becomes dry. At any given time, your hair can absorb and release moisture from the atmosphere. When your hair releases moisture or becomes dry, it will begin to draw up. Shrinkage is probably most evident as your hair moves from a soaking wet to a completely dry state. When your hair is soaking wet, it has the ability to stretch to about 50% of its natural length. And then, as it begins to dry, it will draw up. So, shrinkage cannot be avoided, but now I'm going to give you some information on why it might be helpful to embrace it. Well, first off, shrinkage could be a sign that your hair is healthy. Elasticity of the strands, or the ability of the hair to stretch and then return to its natural state without breaking, is a good thing. The presence of shrinkage could be a sign that your hair is adequately hydrated and in good condition. While I will caution you about using the presence of shrinkage or elasticity as the only indicator that your hair is healthy, if you are routinely cleansing the scalp and incorporating healthy hair practices into your hair care routine, then shrinkage and elasticity could be a sign that your hair is healthy. I know you're thinking, that's great, but I still want to see length. Well, you're in luck, because now I'm going to share with you some ways that you can see your hair in its elongated state. I would first like to caution though that all practices and techniques are not created equal, especially when it comes to preserving the fragility of your hair. Some things that I wouldn't do if I wanted to see the elongated state of my hair is styles that require significant manipulation, like banding or wrapping your hair in elastic ties. And while these styles can look beautiful and create great results initially, repeatedly doing these methods can create weak points in the hair that would often lead to breakage. Now, there are some more gentle techniques that you can incorporate, and I'm going to share those with you now. Some things that you can do include twist outs, knot outs, and braid outs. These require less manipulation and will give you a very nice elongated look. I would caution those of us that have less dense hair that these styles might not be for you, especially if you want to see a more full look. Other things that you could do is consider layering your gels, especially if you live in more humid climates. When your hair is exposed to excessive humidity, it will shrink. Layering of anti-humectant gels will help prevent that shrinkage that you get when your hair is exposed to humidity. And layering of gels, regardless of the level of humidity in your area, can also be a good way to see your hair in its elongated state. Another thing you should consider is sitting under a hooded dryer. Now, I'm an avid hair dryer, but I do know that there are some benefits to sitting under a hooded dryer, especially when it comes to seeing your hair in its elongated state. When you sit under a hooded dryer, your hair is able to dry faster, and it allows the gel cast to be formed on your hair strands before the hair is able to shrink too much. When you air dry, the hair dries a lot slower, and so your hair is allowed to shrink or able to shrink more before that gel cast is created on the hair strands. So consider sitting under a hooded dryer, especially if you want to see your hair in more of its elongated state. Another thing that you should do is also to allow your hair to completely set before you take it down. Primarily if you're wearing things like twist outs, braid outs, or knot outs, make sure your hair is completely dry before you take those styles loose to visualize them. And if you're wearing a wash and go, make sure that you don't over manipulate your strands. And so basically keep your hands off your hair until it's dry. Because when you do these things to your hair, it often causes them to become more frizzy and will allow them to shrink more. And a bonus tip, this one will definitely help you reduce some frustration regardless of what state your hair is to work with a stylist to find a shape that you absolutely love. That way your hair will look amazing whether it is in an elongated or shrunken state. So remember, shrinkage is a way of life. It's gonna happen, so we might as well embrace it. But if you like to see some elongated looks, then consider things like knot outs, braid outs, and twist outs, layering your gels, sitting under a hooded dryer, and most importantly, getting a dope shape. Well, y'all, that's all for today. But I hope you find this hopeful, and I hope it will help you to embrace the shrinkage that is gonna happen. Because remember, it can be a sign that your hair is actually healthy. As always, thank you very much for tuning into my channel. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And for more information on healthy hair practices and high quality products that you can incorporate into your hair care routine, make sure you visit us at boldculture.com. And while you're there, grab a copy of my latest ebook, Simple Steps to Healthy Natural Hair Care, that will help you set a solid foundation and be more successful on your healthy hair journey. And until next week, go boldly.